morning, welcome to the That's Football, that's right. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for FA Cup action as Manchester City entertain Newcastle and what's been an absolutely massive day for the FA Cup. Wow, I wish I'd done the Coventry at Wolves game. Bloody hell, it's soft sell. I've played the game. Absolutely fantastic. Big shout out to Coventry. You know what? One of the first FA Cup finals I remember was 1987, not 67, you cheeky gets. 1987, Spurs against Coventry City. 3-2 in extra time to Coventry City. Well, they've gone and won 3-2 again in normal time, but added time away to Wolves to put themselves into an FA Cup semi-final, which in the modern day is the same as winning the FA Cup in 1987. Absolutely fantastic. Wolves, I'm shocked by Wolves. I really am. I mean, how does that happen? How does that happen, Wolves? How does it happen? I'm just looking there at the starting lineup for Wolves, and it just doesn't make any sense. You know, it's a strong Wolves side. They made a few changes, I suppose, but did they take it a little bit lightly? I don't know. Mentally, maybe they did. Anyway, we've got Man City against Newcastle. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a freebie. This is a free hit, and you know I'm right. I'll guarantee you now, anything you want, apart from money, that and sexual favours, I guarantee you Man City pull out Coventry City if they get to the semi-final. Absolutely, pound to a penny a shit, that has got Man City, Coventry City semi-final written all over it. You know the score, you know the rules, you know that's coming in. It'll be Liverpool or Man United against Chelsea, and it will be Man City against Coventry. You know it. But look, is there any chance tonight that Newcastle knock out Man City? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they will. But Man City, well, I nearly said they've made some changes, but Ederson's actually injured, isn't he? So they haven't made any changes at all. But what we've got is we've got what have we got? We've got Ortega in goal, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiel, Rodri, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Doku, Foden, Haaland. So the only changes they've really made is John Stones coming out, De Bruyne is injured, and obviously so is Ederson. So they're still very strong. Newcastle, Dubravka, Shah, Lascelles and Botman, Byrne, Murphy, Gameres, Longstaff, Gordon, Willock and Isaac. A little bit of a change in the way that they've set up tactically. Almiron's on the bench. But, I mean, I thought Gordon was out for the season. You know, I just saw him warming up. Well, actually, I should have put... I'm a little bit thick, actually, because I should have realised that we've got... I should have realised when he got called up to the England team that he obviously wasn't out for the season. But I didn't put two and two together. And then when I saw him warming up today, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on? Like, how the hell is he playing today? I just didn't make any sense to me. But now it does make sense, and I understand why now, because he's fit. And that's why he's obviously got a big chance of playing for England in the international break and potentially going to the Euros as well. So, yeah, lots to get into there. What else did I want to talk about? I'll remember, don't worry. I've played the game. I'll remember. Yeah, I fancy Man City to win this. I'd love to see a cup shock, but I thought Newcastle was so, you know, I didn't think they were that good at Stamford Bridge. I mean, they were very good at. They didn't play. They played Villa, didn't they? But I don't think that wasn't in the FA Cup. That was in the league. Prediction marks as NK. Yeah, I just don't see anything other than a Man City win, to be honest. I think we'd all like to see something else other than a Man City win, but I just don't see it. I really don't. I think the 1-1-5, as we can see in the chat. No, I think they'll win. Just as you can spot there next to me, we are sponsored by the great Manscaped today. 40% off, not 40%, I wish it was. 20% off is enough. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. He goes to the drawer, what I call the Manscaped drawer, because in there is where all the magic happens. Not that I get in the drawer and do that, although it does have a light. If you are in a, I mean, look, you think about the light. Why do you need the light for the Manscaped down there? Well, you might be in a position where you have to go, quickly and hide somewhere. You might have a date tonight and realise it's going well, and you quickly run into a cupboard and you're like, oh my God, I need the Manscaped, but I'm in a cupboard. What am I going to do? Well, there's got a light on it. Lights it up. It does really good, actually. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger with the lawn mower. Makes a big difference down there. You've also got the beard trimmer with 11 different lengths on it. I'll be using that tomorrow, but I won't be using that because I used it the other day. Weed whacker for up the nose. When you get to a certain age, that's very good. And if you're somebody that likes to be clean shaven, I've got to say the handyman is very handy. Just get moving. I like to use it around the edges, really, but yeah, it's lovely. Fantastic. You know what? I've never had equipment like this before. I remember buying one of these nasal things about 10 years ago from Boots, and it ran out the battery when it was working on one of the big hairs, and I nearly went to A&E until the missus just said, bite your tongue and pull it, and I didn't want to do it. But yeah, never happened with Manscaped because it flashes when it's running out of battery. 20% off. Free worldwide shipping. You can scan that QR code next to me. Big up Manscaped. Fantastic products. Yeah, players are in the tunnel now. We've had an early super chat coming in here from Bart. He says, recently I've been going through a breakup. Boo-hoo. He didn't put that, I did. And I want to thank you all for your content, Mark. It helps me with tough times, and your witty humour often puts a smile on my face. Cheers to all that do that. Says Bart. Yeah, and a breakup is obviously traumatic for some, but ultimately it wasn't right for whatever reason. I don't know what you did. I don't know what she did. I'm not making any accusations, but it's over. And yeah, it's better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all. I mean, I know somebody who I went to school with who I don't think they've ever had a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So most of their love has got a staple in it. I'm talking about magazines. Although, who uses magazines anymore? I was having this chat the other day. It makes me sad, actually, that people don't understand that people don't buy newspapers and magazines anymore. They just don't. They're like pigeon. You know what these newspapers and magazines should do? Go and have a chat with a pigeon. 100 years ago, pigeons were the internet. Big, fluffy, smelly, arrogant prats. Oh, look at me, I'm so good. Flying around, giving messages to people. Oh, we'll never not be popular. Now you're just rats with wings. We don't need you. We've had phones and the internet, and that's what a magazine and a newspaper is. I don't know how I got onto that, but big up the pigeon, says Dan. Right. Skibby-doo. I'm ready to go here. I think I'm ready to go anyway. It's going to be one of those shows tonight. Been looking forward to it. I've had a very busy day today. There we go. Perfect. Do we know who Coventry face in the next round, says LFM? Bloody Man City. You know it's going to be Man City. Give them a bloody bye to the final, why don't you? Odds on the ref making a horrible call today, says Xander. 116, he says. And thoughts on Coventry, Mark? We've already spoken about the Batoro. I mean, they've already had their shout out. We don't need to keep doing it, but they did fantastically well. Dewey wants to be my PA. Thank you very much, Dewey. Why has no one investigated the Premier League referees getting paid from the Middle East and not a conflict of interest for City? You know what, JB? Some of you and some other people on social media have looked into this far more than I have. These Premier League referees, such as Michael Oliver, who go over to the Middle East, and there are apparently links with Dubai and obviously Man City, and then you look at some of the decisions that have been made by Michael Oliver this season that have benefited Man City, and of course some people are going to look at that and start throwing conspiracy theories around. I choose not to, because I can't be arsed, if I'm being honest. But what I will do is I will throw accusations of crap refereeing towards Michael Oliver when he's when he does Man City games, which is consistent. But somebody should be looking into it. I mean, for God's sake. I mean, it's not like it's rocket science. They're going out extracurricular to be paid by the Middle East, and then they come back to the Premier League, and we've got a couple of clubs from the Middle East here. Like, it should be looked at. It should be looked at. Do you think Malacia ran off with Kate Middleton, says Amir Khan? It's the luxury. Alex says it's not just the pay; it's the luxury gifts they get while they're there. Well, I now want to know what the luxury gifts are. I mean, is it? Do they get a bubble bath? Do they get a back rub? Do they get a massage? You know, do they get driven round in a Ferrari? What's going on? What's going on? Why does it say unbelievable here? That's me. That's my fault. I've got to take the blame. Unbelievable. That's not what it should say. Big up the Manscaped. Let's get the stats carousel rolling around. Here we go. Right, we're about ready to start here. I'm going to go Man City 3, Newcastle 0. They get Rolex watches. But, you know, this ain't right. Goldbridge Saves Football on Monday. We're talking about this on the podcast. I've played the game. I'm not having that. That's nonsense. That's like somebody giving. That's like a football club or a player sending me a Rolex, and then me, you know, imagine bloody Jordan Pickford sent me a Rolex, and then suddenly I started going, what a goalie. Probably the most underrated goalkeeper in the world. I mean, realistically, I think he's better than Gordon Banks. I mean, he could play for Real Madrid. You'd see through it a million miles away, wouldn't you? And I'd get in trouble for it. That's how it works. Bribery, by the way. Okay, let me just change this. We're up and running here, and I have got the timer going, which, you know, I'm very happy about because I was gobbing off at the time. But let's go. Eye up. There it is. There it is. Man City on the attack already, but a good attack. Could be a long defensive shift for Newcastle's defenders tonight. I am on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight, by the way. Don't normally do an 8 o'clock show on a Saturday night because I'm normally on TalkSport, but my show got canned so that they could have Gabby Agbonglahor and Jamie O'Hara on. Their choice. Their choice. I get the night off, so who's the real loser? They get Rolex watches and all luxury items, says Tumbleweed. And odds of City winning another treble this season, says HWIT. Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to you much about the Champions League draw because I forgot to do a Champions. I normally always do a live Champions League draw, and that was just stupidity. I had a hard week last week, but I can't wait for those Champions. I mean, I want to just big us all up for watching some of the shit in the last round of the Champions League, but we have been rewarded now with some absolutely crackers. But Bayern against Arsenal, I fancy Arsenal, but I can't wait for it. Real Madrid against Man City, I fancy Man City, but I can't wait for it. So, and Liverpool are a winner really, because the great thing is, if Arsenal and Man City win, they then play each other. So if you're Liverpool, you know Man City have got to play Real Madrid twice and probably Arsenal twice before they even get to the final. So, you know, the volume of games, etc., could really benefit, couldn't it? Thanks for the super chats that have come in early doors, by the way. Thanks everybody who's tuning in. What you been doing today? Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I've been quite busy today, cutting the grass. Manscaped. No, real grass with a real lawnmower. Yeah, done a bit of cooking as well with Seb. Played a few games. Been down the shops. Went to Sainsbury's. Contactless payment wasn't working. On the radio it was. Big news. Yeah, but it's a bit boring when there's not many good games on. No 12:30 game, and then the 3 o'clock games were shit. And I didn't do the FA Cup game between Wolves and Coventry. What a prat. There's Kevin De Bruyne, look. Was it a bit wet for the grass? It was a bit wet, Flightless, but it was getting out of control. And it's going to be another wet week. So I was just like, you know what? You've got to get in there. You've got to get in there and trim your grass when it's getting big because it just gets out of control. Paddy's Day tomorrow, says Michael. Yes. Don't know what I think about that. St. Patrick's Day, I did 4 in a row. I lived in Ireland for 4 years, so I did 4 in a row. I always miss it, but I did 4 in a row. And it was... But I've got to be honest, St. Patrick's Day for me was just the day. It was an event. Like, start drinking early, you're in Dublin, all the pubs and clubs are open in the day. But tomorrow it'll be difficult because Man United are playing Liverpool, and that will detract from St. Patrick's Day for some. Will you be doing a watch-along for Europa League? It's Leverkusen against Liverpool. I will do if they play each other, mate, but I don't normally do Europa League unless it's like the final and it's a good final. But we will see. Atletico versus Dortmund and Barcelona versus PSG, says Ronald. Yeah, no one's really going to be watching them, are they? Because they're the other games on the big day nights. I think. I don't think they are actually now. I think I've messed that up. Let's have a look. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. 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 Why? Why do you mock me? Why? Arsenal, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, Man City kick off at the same time. 8 o'clock on Tuesday the 9th. What's going on? Absolute shit. I can't believe I can't watch them games at the same time. I can't watch them. You can't watch them at, well, I will watch them at the same time, but that's horrible. I can't. Oh, no. 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 That's ruined it for me. Man City, Real Madrid are on at the same time as Arsenal, Bayern Munich. I mean, we'll do a double watch-along, of course, but it's not the same. It's so stupid. And look, the other games are shit. Oh, that's a disappointment. So Atletico Madrid against Dortmund and PSG against Barcelona. Yeah, that's disappointing. Well, you can't do anything about it. You can't. Makish says City Madrid is the top pick. I mean, yeah, it is, but I was really looking forward to watching Bayern Munich against Arsenal as well, because Harry Kane as well. Can you name, Flores Official says, can you name 3 current players who you think will be great managers in the future? I can imagine Rodri, just looking at him now. That's not just because I'm looking at him now. Yeah, I can imagine Rodri. Yeah. Oh, good cross in there. I think anybody... It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because, you know, just because you've played the game doesn't mean you're going to make a great coach anyway. I'm surprised if someone like Bruno Fernandes did as well. Juan Mata's a good shout. Matthew McFadden, yeah. Kane got injured today, apparently. Yeah, but it's a month away. Not be out for a month, is he? Good news for Ollie Watkins. Not good news for Harry Kane, of course. Who do you think's Arsenal's best player, says the Football G? Saka. Well, I think Declan Rice has had a very good season and Saliba as well. Here's Foden. Lovely ball. Good defending. Good defending there. Doku nearly getting in. Murphy, the defender. Well, he's not. He's normally a winger, isn't he? But they're playing with wing backs. They're playing a back 5. It's interesting, though. I wanted to talk about this from a tactical point of view. I watched Man City at Newcastle in the league. I think it was in January. And here's Willock doing well. And they really didn't pick up the number 10. And it'll be interesting to see if they do that tonight. Obviously, De Bruyne can't come on. He changed that game. Newcastle were winning 2-1. Then De Bruyne came on. Oh, my God. Fancy running away from the ball, Longstaff. Absolute twat. If they score from this, it's on Longstaff. He literally ran away from the ball. Good defending. Oh, lovely play. Lovely play here. I think he might be offside. No. Was that Bruno Guimaraes, I think? Hi, Mark. Love the streams. If Arsenal beat Bayern, do you think they could win the Champions League if they survive Madrid or City in the semis? Well, you've sort of answered your own question, Mighty. Start, bench, sell. Henry, Ronaldinho, Mbappe. Sell Mbappe, bench Ronaldinho, start Henry. There's just nothing you can do with a light blue kit, is there? I mean, nothing to do with the 115, but light blue. Then again, no, there's not really anything you can do with light blue. Do you think Doku's overrated, says Aaron? I think he got overhyped because he had that couple of good games back in November, but it is only season 1 under Pep Guardiola, and as we know, it can take time to adjust. Pedro says Ronaldinho ain't better than Mbappe. I'd love to see your passport, mate. Because unless you're over 30, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Considering Ronaldinho was in his prime in the World Cup in 2002, which was 22 years ago, I'm not trusting you if you were 3 years old. So, well, I'm definitely not trusting you if you're up your mum's chuff. Look, you know the problem with Mbappe is he's been playing in the French league all his life. Look, I think Mbappe is the best player in the world, but until he gets out of the French league, there will be question marks. He's not done it in a big league in his whole career, and unfortunately for the Mbappe lovers, and I do like Mbappe, he's the best player in the world. Ronaldinho, Serie A, La Liga, and funnily enough the French league, and international football, and Henry the same, La Liga and the Prem. Whereas, you know, Mbappe's won a World Cup, so's Henry and Ronaldinho, but they've done it in better leagues, so they have to be given more credit. The regime says hat-trick in a World Cup final, need I say more? Well, so you're going to judge somebody on one bloody game? No, that's not how it works. Go and get your FIFA out. Shane Kane is injured. Says too shy. Mate, I'm not thick. I'm never going to read that name. And Evan, again, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I know there are other watch-alongs out there. 1-0, Man City. Bernardo Silva, jammy get. Absolute jam. Absolute jam. It's deflected in. Fuckers, they even buy look, don't they? They're so jammy. Of course it does, Mark. It's the World Cup final, says Man United 8888. Thank you very much. Oh, mate, shut up. I just realised what you've just said there. So Mbappe is better than Henry and Ronaldinho because he scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Come on. Shut up. Chris Wood scored a hat-trick. Is he better than Thierry Henry? You can't say somebody's the best player, better than Henry and Ronaldinho because they scored a fucking hat-trick. Come on. Grow up. Player FC. Here we go again. Deflected in off Dan Burn, 1-0 to Man City here. I mean, this is exactly what this game doesn't need. A bit of luck for Man City. I mean, they don't need luck. You buy your own luck, Mark. Yeah, but they get a lot of fucking luck, don't they? I don't want to talk about this Mbappe stuff anymore. It's boring. It's a boring conversation. And I keep getting drawn into these boring conversations with people who are probably aged between 15 and 25 who won't have even seen prime Henry and Ronaldinho and yet think they can pass judgment on it. You can't. You just can't. I can't pass judgment on Brian Robson because I don't remember him. I can't pass judgment on George Best. I wasn't alive. So you can't do it. You can't say that Mbappe is better than George Best, by the way. You can't do it because you weren't alive to see George Best. And yet somehow in the modern game, people think that they can. You can't. Thoughts and predictions on the Champions League draw, says Tiger. Well, we were just talking about it. Absolutely gutted that Real Madrid and Man City kick off at the same time as Arsenal and Bayern Munich. I thought they would be on separate nights, but I suppose they're playing each other in the semi-final, aren't they? So it makes sense. But gutting, really. But they are really, really, you know, Man City, Real Madrid will be very interesting because, I mean, that's the final, really. Man City, Real Madrid, I think they're the two favourites. So for them to come out is incredible. Otamendi and Romero in that final, enough said, says Thomas Hopley. And do you think you can beat Will in a match of football tic-tac-toe, says Flores Official. Don't know what it is. Don't know what the game is, but probably. Revan says it's because you can't have two Madrid home games on the same night, Mark. Yeah. Mark, who do you think had the higher potential at the beginning of their United career? Rasmus or Martial? Hope Rasmus actually lives up to it, says Robble. I mean, in real terms, Martial probably cost us more because it was about £50 million, that deal. But I think Rasmus will do better. Hi Mark, love the streams and recent episodes with Loz and Hoyland. Did you happen to see the absolute state of VAR in the Coventry Wolves game? No, Elliot, I didn't. I didn't know there was any. I didn't watch the game, to be honest. What? Haaland wasn't even fouled there, you crap ref. Oh, it's a Man City player rolling over. It must be a foul. Twat. They're all on the fucking. They've got them all on side, haven't they? Let's be honest. No, I didn't see the VAR. Elliot. I need some help off you lot, actually, in a little bit. Genuinely do need some help. I've had something change in my life, and I need some help. I was going to book him for it as well. Booked him for the Haaland foul. Wasn't even a foul. Watch this. Not even a foul. Got the ball. Gets the fucking ball. Watch. Fucking joke. State of refereeing. Pathetic, says Devils 58 Red. But this is what Man City do. Someone wins the ball, roll around and scream, referee buys it. I just don't know what to say anymore about our officials when it's against Man City. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know, we saw Kovacic sent off twice but didn't get sent off once against Arsenal. We saw Fulham, an offside goal get given towards them. In the Manchester derby, Rodri dives off no contact. VAR says penalty. Last week, we saw a Stonewall penalty against them, not given. And the list goes on and on and on and on. There's something really weird about the officiating in this country against Man City. Here's Gordon. Into Willock. And I think that's a goal kick. Yeah. To be honest, Martial was a panic buy. We were waiting for Bale to come, says Boss. And hi, Mark. What do you think of Marty stealing John Paul's cash and graphics card? I don't know what all this is all about, Carrie. No idea. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Anthony Gordon. When he went off the other day, I'm sure somebody told me he was out for 6 months, gets called up for England, then starts the next game. You know what? I'm going to just try and enjoy a Saturday night match, but I don't even support Liverpool or Arsenal, and I just think that title race has lost its integrity. I really do. I just think some of the decisions that have been made are dodgy. They're, you know, I can't say the stronger word, but they are dodgy. I still can't get over that Liverpool one. I can't understand why Liverpool haven't done any. Well, what can they do? What can you do? I wouldn't shut up about it, that's for sure. I mean, that Liverpool Man City game is the most stonewall penalty you're ever going to see, and they got away with it. PGM Oil says, I like that one. PGMOL, PGM Oil. Penelope, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Corner for Newcastle here. Headed back in, headed away. And an offside given anyway. Linda Sills says get your badge in. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. So I've had a bit of I wouldn't call it a health scare, but I've had a bit of a advice this week that my diet, which I thought was quite good, is really not that good. So I thought, you know what, I'll bring this up on a watch along. Really just got to cut a lot of carbs out of my diet. Bread, red meat, which isn't a carb. So which is fine, but I just don't know what to eat. I don't know what to eat. It's not that I can't eat it. It's just that it's not good for me to eat bread, rice, pasta, and I need to cut down on red meat as well. So what would you advise? I mean, tonight I've just had burger and chips because it's a Saturday night. Once in a while, it's fine. But I need to volume eat. Chicken's very good, Logan, yeah. Jake says, why have you got to cut all that out? It's just to be honest, I probably in my 20s, I just ate all the wrong foods. And I've not had it confirmed, but I'm probably on the road to high cholesterol and diabetes, if I'm being honest. My reaction to those sort of foods gives me big sugar spikes. So I've got to just adjust my diet a little bit. But it's stupid because, you know, I thought for breakfast I have porridge and banana, and I thought that was quite healthy. It's not actually good for me. Porridge and banana, because there's quite a lot of natural sugar in banana, and porridge is, you know, got gluten in it or something. So it actually is not a very good breakfast for me, and I've been having it for about 2 years. So yeah, I need to think about other things to eat. I can have the other things in moderation, but I would probably have it certainly every main meal. Healthy fats, yeah, avocado, mackerel, chicken. I already do exercise, Lucas. Carnivore diet saved my life, said somebody there. What do you think happens if City found guilty, says David Hall? I don't think we're going to find out about that for a couple of years, to be honest. And it's all about combinations as well. It's not like I can't have a sandwich. It's what you put in the sandwich to balance it out. Hi Mark, United fan here. I know these robotic 115 squad is cheats, but what about Liverpool's asthma abusing? Over the half the squad is on inhalers, says Carrie. Well, prove it. You know, the 115's got to get proven as well, but that's always just been a bit of a, you know. The biggest problem in well, it might be the same in America, but certainly in the UK, the biggest problem we have with our diet is processed food. You can get away with it in your 20s, but once you're into your 30s, it can start to have an impact. I reversed diabetes in a month, says Nick P. Took out white bread, pasta and white rice. Try buckwheat instead of rice. Eat loads of bean dishes and olive oil. There we go, Nick P. You know what? I'm actually quite looking forward to it because, as boring as this might sound, let's see what happens with this attack. Not a very good cross by Murphy. As boring as it sounds, if I'm eating the wrong food, it's going to have a big impact on my energy levels. It's going to have a big impact on my sleep and my waistline. So I'm going to give it a try for a month and see what happens. I don't eat a lot of fast food, Lewis. I think where I've been going wrong is I do eat a lot of bread and cereal and rice, and I don't eat enough plants. And I don't mean the one you've got in your bloody living room that you water. I mean, like, I don't eat enough nuts and green stuff. And red wine's actually all right. Carl says cut out the booze. Red wine's not too bad in moderation. Foden, stupid shot. How did you find all this out? Well, I went to see a specialist about it because I went to the doctor about it as well. I just felt like I had no energy. Okay, we're going to move off this because we're getting some people who just don't like this sort of conversation. You don't win friends. Dr. G Jenkins says you don't win friends with salad. Oh yes, The Simpsons, love it, love it. Chicken and veggies every day will sort you out. With the occasional can of tuna, I'll personally feed you if you'd like, says Tommy. Yep, we'll get you sorted, Tommy. Get over. I'll tell you what, you can't beat you can't beat chicken breast though, can you? Good chicken breast. You can almost eat it on its own if you cook it right. I mean, I never would, but I do love chicken. I used to love red meat more, but I love chicken. Love chicken. It's so good. I had a burger tonight. Yeah, it was nice. Another yellow card here. Doku goes down. Lascelles. Yeah, that's a yellow card. He grabs him round the neck. You see, I'm not gonna. This is what I mean. I'll call out the Man City cheating. Well, not cheating, but you know what? I'll call out the fact that they get a lot of decisions, but that was a yellow card. Definitely a yellow, says Jake. I agree. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, Man City 76% possession, 2 shots to 0. Oh, you know, I'll tell you what. Tell you what. It's £9,500. I didn't know what. I couldn't speak. I don't even. You know what? I didn't even do it, and I feel guilty. Right? I can't even speak about this. I can't. And I've got to tell you on the watch along. 2 things, right? First one, corner to Man City. That's not one of them. Corner to Man City. Let's see what happens. I can't. I feel guilty and I didn't do it. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. Cross comes in from Foden. Haaland with the header, headed away. Salad is what my food eats, says Ash. I'll tell you what I have noticed, though, on the food thing. Nothing to do about eating. First couple of days, sort of changed some of the food I was eating. Tonight, I would normally have 2 burgers, chips, a salad, some coleslaw, and baked beans. That's one of my favourite Saturday night dinners. Don't have it very often. Tonight, I had 1 burger. Didn't really want to eat the chips. Had the salad and the coleslaw. It's amazing, like after 2 or 3 days of just changing your eating habits, how your stomach adjusts to not really craving those foods. Anyway, this is the story. This is the story, right? Popped down to the shops on Thursday, walking up the road, and I'm not going to describe the person. I'm not going to give the gender or anything like that. You can imagine them. You can imagine them yourselves, because if I tell you, then it's not really fair, is it? So this person's walking ahead of me, and they've got a blue bag with what I presume is shopping, but it's not from Sainsbury's because it's a blue bag. So they're walking along and they're listening to their phone like this. Not like this. They've got music on and they're walking along with it like that, really loud. I don't care because I've got my earphones in. I'm listening to my own podcast. And they're walking, I nearly said, they're walking along and, oh my God. What's the fucking point? What is the point? Is another bloody deflection. I can't believe this. I'll tell you this story in a minute. I mean, this is basically game over with 2 fucking deflections. Who is this Pratt in goal? I mean, I think it's a deflection. Let's have a look. Goes out to Bernardo Silva. I mean, I think this is just bad goalkeeping. I can't see the deflection. Oh, there is a bit of a deflection off Botman, isn't there? I don't know whether he should still save it. Nah. Two deflections. 2 months isn't enough, like United clear out needed, says Abdul. And sorry, I'm just, what's going on here? Big fan from India, says Samarth. Thoughts on Liverpool versus United fixture? Oh, mate, I'm really can't wait. Really excited about it. Obviously, Liverpool are favourites. But, yeah, can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. Anyway, back to the story. So I've been to Sainsbury's. I'm walking up the road. And this person is about 20 metres in front of me. They've got a blue bag, so they haven't been to Sainsbury's. I'm presuming there's some sort of food in the bag, but it doesn't look particularly heavy. They're listening. They're holding the bag in one hand and they're listening to their phone like this. You know, they may as well be like this. You know, they're listening like this. They walk along past a nice house. They step into the drive of that. They look round, they see me, and then suddenly start walking again. I thought, this is a bit weird. So I slowed down how I was walking because I just didn't want to get within 10 metres of them. You know, you get a sense, right? Anyway, we carry on walking up the road. And I'm listening to my earphones, and I just go in my phone to get my pocket to get my phone out, and I'm looking like that. Lo and behold, next thing I know, I'm walking past the blue bag, and as I look in the bag, it's just like food items that have been eaten. And I look further up the road, and this person's still walking. And I just was like, oh my God, he's just dropped his bag of rubbish on the fucking floor. Is this the UK 2024? I just couldn't fucking believe it. And I thought to myself, do I go and say something, or do I just shrug my shoulders and tut and just keep it to myself? I didn't know what to do, and I just thought, well, I really wanted to say something, but they were 20 metres in front of me at this point, so I thought I've got to run after them. But then I thought, well, if I do say something, I might get stabbed or something like that. So I was just like, oh, just welcome to modern Britain, I suppose. But I just couldn't fucking believe it. Like, walking along with this bag, and then obviously he's eaten what he wanted to eat, and just drops the bag on the road. Just drops the bag and keeps walking. And I just thought, oh, what's happened to people's manners? What's happened to people's manners? Yeah. Eamon says, what a dead story. Well, mate, maybe it's normal where you are to just throw your rubbish on the street, but I just think it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I think it's disgusting the way society's going, to be honest. It wasn't David James, Benjamin. Well, it could have been David. No, it wasn't David James. CFC says it was him. Nigel Watson. Pick the bag up and put it in the bin. Well, I did. Because this is it. This is the even funny part of it. Oh, what a save by Ortega. Should have been 2-1. He's done really well since he got, I thought he played well at Anfield and he just made a big save there. Isaac's got to be scoring it, but... yeah, the funny thing was, it was bin day. And there was a dustbin lorry going up the road at the same time. So everybody's bin bags were out. I forgot about that. So everybody's bin was out. He'd walked past about 20 bins that he could have just put the bag in. So I picked it up and just put it in an empty bin. That's not the point. This person had no intention. It was clearly in their personality to just throw their rubbish on the street. They have got no respect. That's what I mean. That's my whole point. They didn't have any respect for people or anything like that. It wasn't that there wasn't a bin around. I don't think it's even laziness, Chris. I just think it's they don't give a shit. Selfish. Well, it could have been 2-1. Maybe it should have been 2-1, but it's not. It's 2-0. Any chance of swapping to the Spurs game, says Nicholas. Ooh. Ooh. Now you're talking. What's the score in the Spurs game? I'm happy to swap. This is over. 0-0, 35 minutes. It's not a bad idea, is it? Oh, I'm going to run a poll. I'm going to run a poll here. Either or. It's up to you. City game, Spurs game. Get your votes in. Mark, if all the English sides win the three European competitions and we get 5 Champions League places, how many European spots will we get? 5. Because Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal are all in the top 5. You don't get an extra one. If one of them were outside the top 5, then we'd get 6, but they're not. Whoa, it's a landslide. I think people want us to watch Fulham against Spurs. I forgot it was on. Stephen says this will be the first swap along ever. 76% at the moment. Mark, I find English people more entitled than immigrants, and I'm English, as I'm all in. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. What's that got to do with the price of bread, which I can't eat anymore? Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna change channel here. We will keep an eye on the Man City Newcastle game, but I'm going to swap over for now. City game's very boring, Fennec. Yes, it is. We're going to change all the stats for you in a few minutes as well. Newcastle very, very poor, says Red Devil TV. Well, I think when Man City are 2-0 up with 2 deflections, that game's over, and we all know it's over. Let me just go through these teams for you. I need to change the clock as well when we change. But that's Man City and Newcastle, of course. But let me just tell you what's going on in this game. 0-0 after 40 minutes. 6 shots for Fulham, 5 for Spurs. End to end, apparently. Leno, Castagnet. Oh. Goal for Fulham! 1-0. Straight away. We've got a goal. The Goldbridge touch. That's football touch. And it's absolutely incredible. It's a lovely cross goal. And it's Muniz. I've got him in my FPL. I think I've got him in my Goldbridge as well. Lovely cross. What a cross this is. Don't know who makes the cross, but it's Muniz who scores. I think it's Robinson. Done a bloody good job. A very good left back as well. Plays for the United States. Is he onside though? Oh, might be offside. Might be a touch of the offside there. It'd be a massive shame. It's a lovely cross. Deserves to be a goal, but I think he might have been... What a finish as well. Onside, apparently, says EA Wardo. That's my USA left back, says Nathan. Oh no, he should be onside. It'd be really harsh if he's off. Really harsh if he's off because it's such a good goal. I don't know. Yeah, he's onside. What a goal for Fulham that is. What a goal. Yeah, it's a lovely goal. Well, what a time to turn over. Fulham against Tottenham. 1-0 to Fulham as things stand. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are very close to 122,000. We're only 300 away. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved. Thank you very much. Massive game tomorrow as well, of course, on the United stand. Fulham not in that. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. We will change it to Fulham on the screen. I've just got to get it done behind the scenes. What I can show you, though, while we're waiting to do that, is I can show you this. League table. Spurs currently in 5th. Be a big result for Villa because this is effectively Tottenham's game in hand. So they're going to have to come from behind here. And yeah, well, game on. Fulham playing well. And Fulham leading here. Dan says, can I just have a big shout out for the super chat swap suggestion? They are a legend of the chat. They really, really are. They really, really are. And it's a good game as well because it's close. You should. This all will start changing in a moment. Don't worry. Where are Fulham in the league? As it stands, they are currently 12th with 36 points. Although they might have more points than that now. Yeah, they've got 38 points, still 12th, a point behind Chelsea. Almost 3-0 to Man City if you're watching that shit. You know what? I've got to be honest though. I think this swap along is exactly what the problem is with Manchester City, because people are bored. They're boring. They're bloody boring. Like, I've never done a swap. I've never swapped across from a game before, and I never had any intention of doing Tottenham against Fulham. But Man City are boring. They're boring. That's what they are. What's your view on Marco Silva, says Vishesh? I've got a lot of respect for him because he didn't go to Saudi, did he? He stayed. I think he's a good coach. But Man City are boring because they're too good, says Khan. Well, I don't think that's the case. I think that they get a lot of decisions that go their way. Lee Berman's just in from the pub. I've been running up the hill. Yeah, 8 o'clock on the United Stand tonight, live. Don't normally do a Saturday night show. Looking forward to it. City are Red Bull. They are, Mr. Outro. They are. They are. Anyway, look, they're boring. They might be the best, but they're still boring. But the Premier League's not boring, is it? And it's half time. It's half time, so we can probably go back to. Well, we should be able to go back. Oh, it won't let me go back now. It's 0-0 here. It's 1-0 here to Fulham. And they're still playing. Well, it's about to be half time here as well. This ref couldn't be any more biased for City, says basically Vader. What about a rugby watch along, says Joshim. You know what? I might bloody well just put that on in a minute, just to keep it on. Hi Mark, do you ever fart under the duvet and then put your head under to see how long you can survive? No, Tam. Nagelsmann would take a club job before the Euros, says Stephen. Yep, spoke about that last night on United Stand. You beat Liverpool tomorrow, but City win the treble again, or let Liverpool win. Also, Rasmus or Nunez, says Matt. Bloody hell, Matt. No, I want to beat Liverpool tomorrow. It's not my responsibility to stop City winning the treble. Rasmus or Nunez, I'll go Rasmus. Bias. Get me the idea, guy. Got any jobs, says Nicholas. And I think City will beat Madrid and win the Champions League, says Shashank. And well done, Mark, says Dari. Goldbridge jinx works in our favour for a change. Thank you very much for that. And we're not quite at half time here. But it will be in the cup half time very, very soon. And it is half time there now. Right, get your comments in. I'm going to change here. I've not watched any of the rugby this year. Nice for Ireland to win it with it being St Patrick's weekend, though. They've only got 20 minutes to hold on, and then they will do it in Ireland. What a weekend if you're Irish. You're going to win the Six Nations on a Saturday, and then it's St Patrick's Day tomorrow. Bloody hell. What a weekend, eh? What a weekend. Mark, say we'll lose to Liverpool and the jinx might go in our favour, says Idris. And Phoenix says, I'm Irish, what a weekend. Well, I'll tell you what, I've done it again. I've jinxed it again. Oh, no, I haven't. I thought Ireland were going to score a try. Hi, Mark. Who's winning the Premier League and the FA Cup, says Aaron. I think Man City will win the FA Cup. I think they'll win the league as well. I think whether they've done it on purpose or not is obviously, a big accusation. But I think the PGMOL and the referees have done a great job of helping Man City out this year. When you think about some of the decisions that they've made, the onside goal against Spurs that wasn't given, the pushing the back on Gabriel that wasn't given, and then the penalty that wasn't given last week, I think they've made a massive contribution to the officiating in the Premier League has made a massive contribution to Man City's title win this year. I'm sorry, I'll argue that with anyone. It's very, very clear to me. They've made some absolutely shit decisions. Hot take, Modric is overrated, averaging 7 goals and assists per season, says Nicolas Cage. Yeah, but it's not all about that, is it? I tell you what, I don't know what it is about me, but I turn on a sport and instantly a tight game gets a goal, or in this case, a try. I've literally just turned it on, and Ireland are about a metre away from getting a try. I saw a poll where people voted Pep Ball more entertaining than Klopp and Fergie Ball. I couldn't speak, says Dewey. I mean, I can't speak about that. As a United fan, City are boring until they decide not to be. It's like they lure you into a false sense of security, then bam, annoying to watch, says CJ. Thank you very much for that. Kovacic's no red card. Do you remember, says Travis? Yeah, I mean, thankfully Arsenal still did win that game, to be fair. But Tam's still talking about farts. And Ireland have their try. Or no? I don't know. I think they have. What about Odegaard's handball against Liverpool, says CTZ. And up the Villa, down the Spurs, says the Blad. Yeah, well, we are watching Spurs game against Fulham, and they're 1-0 down at half-time. It's on Sky. Tony Bain, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Change the title and graphics, please. The title says Fulham versus Tottenham, mate. I can't really do any more than that. I can't change the graphics. It's being sorted in the background. Spurs and Fulham is at half-time, Samir, as is Man City and the Newcastle game. But we will, second half, be keeping our focus on Spurs and Fulham. 1-0 to Fulham, and it was a cracking goal as well. Cracking goal. Would be massive for the league as well if Tottenham didn't turn this around. I was looking at this the other day, and Spurs have got some tough games to come. They need to win these sort of matches because, I mean, it's not easy. It's not an easy game for Spurs, but I was looking at it, and the next few games for Spurs go like this. Well, I can't fucking tell you now because they're obsessed with the FA Cup on the BBC. Let me have a look. Tottenham. Scores and fixtures. Next game's Luton at home, which you'd expect them to win. West Ham away could be tough. Forest at home, you'd expect them to win. Newcastle away could be tough. Man City at home could be tough. Arsenal at home could be tough. Liverpool away could be tough. And then Burnley and Sheffield United. So there are points to be dropped there, of course there are. But it's going to be an interesting race for fourth place, I think, because, again, Spurs have got some games that they could lose. And then you've got Aston Villa, who have European football, of course. West Ham away tomorrow. Wolves at home. City away. Brentford at home. Arsenal away after Lille. Bournemouth at home. Chelsea at home. Brighton away. Liverpool at home. Palace away. So there's a lot of... I just think April's going to be absolutely fantastic. You've got those Champions League quarterfinals. Premier League games going on as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely massive. Graphics guy arrays, yep, great work there. Fulham against Spurs up on the screen. It is half time at the moment, and Champions League predictions, says Oish. Yeah, I'd go. I think Man City will beat Real Madrid. I think Arsenal will beat Bayern, and then that'd be an amazing semi-final, wouldn't it? Man City against Arsenal. And then other side, Barcelona against PSG. It's a tough one. I think that's so hard because you're living off past reputation when neither team, I think, is good enough to win the Champions League. So I would probably say PSG. And Ireland have scored a try now. Atletico Madrid against Dortmund. Probably Atletico Madrid, I think. So you could have an all-Spanish semi-final, Atletico Madrid-Barcelona, and then have an all-English semi-final, Man City against Arsenal. I think PSG will win due to the sheer force of Mbappe, says CLX. Well, I suppose that's one thing that's a positive for Mbappe. He gets to avoid playing against Real Madrid unless they get to the final, both of them, which I don't think we're going to get a PSG Real Madrid final. I think we'll get I can see an Atletico Madrid Arsenal final. There you go. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? But yeah, I could see that, to be honest. I think it could be that. But look, I don't think the last round of 16 was that good. But I think the quarterfinals are going to be great. I'm just devastated. I'm absolutely devastated that Real Madrid and Man City are playing at the same time as Spurs and Arsenal. Not Spurs and Arsenal, Bayern and Arsenal. I was really looking forward to that. I was like, oh, one night it's going to be Bayern and Arsenal, and then the next night it's going to be Man City and Real Madrid, and it's not. They're playing at exactly the same time, which is a shame. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Amir says Arsenal are not getting to the final. We wouldn't beat City over 2 legs. You would. You could. I wouldn't doubt yourself. I wouldn't give up. You never know. You might do it. Split screen. Yeah, well, I'll have both games on. We'll do a double watch along. I'm just saying, I don't mind doing double watch alongs, but as I've said to you before, you can't watch 2 games at the same time and analyse them. It doesn't work like that. So, you had a restorative day today, which promotes recovery. To perform better, try going to bed a bit earlier. You need more sleep than usual because you've got a sleep debt. Referee in the City versus Newcastle is the same that gave onside Man City counter versus Spurs, says CTZ. And I don't want to watch City, says Vexto. Well, I'm watching Fulham against Spurs. It's a first. It's a first. We've never switched across before. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. It's disappeared. That always happens. We've never done a swap along before where we swap to a better game. So Man City they might be winning 2-0, but you're in the mud because you've been Goldbridged because we've switched you off to watch a better game. All your money, all your trophies, all your charges, you can put them in the bin because we've switched your game off because you're boring. You're boring and no one wants to watch you. So we'd rather watch Fulham against Spurs than Man City against Newcastle because you're boring to watch. You're not even one of those teams that wins that people want to watch. You're boring. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Delivered to your door for free with 20% off with the code FOOTY. Big shout out to Manscaped. It's true, though. It is true. We've switched it off because it's boring. And Man City fans will say, wow, don't care. Don't care. Don't care. It's because we're so good. You should care. You should care because I've seen Arsenal be really good. I wouldn't switch them off. I've watched Liverpool and they've been good and I wouldn't switch it off. When you're winning and people are switching it off, that's a bad thing. That is a bad thing because you're boring. If Kane was French, would be considered best in the world, says Mario Franco. I don't think it really matters what Kane's nationality is because he's not better than Mbappe. He's nowhere near. Joseph Hurst, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, just a big thanks for all the content you put out and your passion. Have a beer on us, which you might need for tomorrow. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think tomorrow's stream needs to come with a health warning for me and for you, because it's Man United against Liverpool in the Cup, and I'm just so excited about it. But of course, when you're up for a game like that, the danger is if you lose, if you win, you don't just sit there and go, oh, well, that was disappointing. Oh, that was good. It's going to be pure passion. I can't wait for it. I really can't. I do need a bit more sleep, don't I? But big thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate that, mate. I'll probably pass on the lager and have a nice bottle of red. But thank you very much. Not tonight though. I don't think I will have a drink tonight by the time I've got this done. Stuart says you're going to get slaughtered. Well, Dorian Davies makes a great point. All these City fans saying we're not boring, this, that, and the other. If you had any fans, we'd still be watching Man City against Newcastle. That's the ironic thing. Basically, if you want the story of the first half, we were doing a Man City against Newcastle stream. And I'd forgotten that Fulham were playing Spurs. So somebody in the chat says, can we switch across to Fulham Spurs? It's a better game. So I was like, well, we've never done that before, but I'll put it to the audience. We'll do a poll on it. Well, 6,000 people voted. 75% said turn it off. So, you know, Man City fans can't argue with that. It wasn't my decision to turn it across. It was thousands of other people. So, in the mud. In the mud. But I suppose, you know what? On a serious note, I think another reason people don't want to listen to this, but I'm going to say it. Is it that Man City are boring? Or is it that they don't have any integrity? Like, I don't know. Even I've said it's because they're boring, but actually, is it because they've got no integrity? You know, you watch Man City win and you're sort of like, you know, we've seen what's happened to Everton. We've seen what's happened with what's going to happen with Forest. Man City have got 115 charges over them. They keep winning, but I think people are sort of like, I don't trust how they've got there. So maybe that's something to do with it as well. Why would you sit there watching a team that's 2-0 up and contemplate being entertained by something that may not have any integrity at all? Whereas you can switch Fulham against Spurs on, which is a closer game, which is what we've done. So, interesting half. Really good goal for Fulham. Spurs have had more of the possession, as you can see. But apart from that, it's been quite equal. And we're ready to go for the second half here. And we're up and running. And big shout out to the audience, the democracy of changing the watch-along. We'll keep an eye on Man City. But they're basically through. Newcastle aren't going to come back in that one. But Spurs need to come back in this. I think this game... Look, the Premier League's better than the FA Cup anyway. That's a harsh truth, isn't it? The Premier League is better than the FA Cup. Change the title. I've changed the title, mate. It says Fulham versus Tottenham. I think you just need to refresh. Man United against Liverpool is a massive game tomorrow. It sort of supersedes anything because it's Man United against Liverpool. But in all honesty, the Premier League's better than the FA Cup, isn't it? Fulham are playing well here, though. Oh, into the box. Pereira. Oh, well played, Vicario. Got down well there. It's got a really good tempo to this game. In football, we like stories like face adversity, riding through the ranks to be champions. Man City bought their way to being top. No storyline. That's why it's boring, says Marky. Yeah, get your comments in. Why do you think Man City are really not respected and no one really wants to watch them apart from City fans? Let us know. And don't just type 115. Joshua says, I think we've got enough to beat Liverpool tomorrow. Yeah, remember it's a 3:30 kickoff. Looking forward to that. I think there's some other games tomorrow, isn't there? Just thinking about that. I know, I'm pretty sure Villa are playing tomorrow. Yeah, 2 o'clock West Ham Villa. 12:45 Chelsea Leicester. Yeah, you'd fancy Chelsea. Well, look, I'll tell you for free. I don't know when the FA Cup semi-final draw is, but Man City will get Coventry. Absolutely nailed on. Man City are going to get Coventry. It's the most... I know that's happening. I think everybody knows. Spurs on the attack. Good cross. Son. Oh, I thought it was going in. Cleared away by Willian. Coventry have done really well to win today, though. I mean, Mark Robbins, former Man United player. Big win for them. Get it wide. Nice play again from Fulham. They're really using the width. It's 2-0. And I tell you what, I've not seen wing play like this since I flew to Mallorca. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely brilliant. It's from the other side this time. It's Lukic, and it's an absolutely brilliant goal. Fulham are entertaining. This is entertaining football. I tell you what, Pep, you should watch some of this, because this is entertainment. Wing play. We love to see it. And Fulham have used the width so well today. The overlap. Here we go. Lovely ball. He's onside. And then the cross. He's onside. It's just a lovely goal. It's a lovely goal again. Big up the Fulham. If you know the rules. Lovely wing play again from Fulham. Lovely goal. 2-0. Don't we just love this Premier League, eh? Don't we just love this Premier League? Up the cottagers. I've said this before. I'm sure cottaging is a term for something else. Not going to Google it. But cottagers is the nickname of Fulham. And okay. I just Googled it. Yeah, well, not my words, the words of the English dictionary. Cottaging is the action of engaging in homosexual acts in a public toilet. Which has got nothing to do with Fulham being 2-0 up against Spurs. Absolutely not. We'll move on. But Fulham here, 2-0 up, have played so well. I mean, Spurs can come back from 2-0. There's no doubt about that. But the way Fulham have played today, I mean, look, they won it. Here we go again. Robinson. Willian. They're just moving the ball around so nicely. Of course, they went to Old Trafford and won not that long ago. Hessen says, you do an awful lot of City watch-alongs considering we're boring. Mate, it could have been anybody tonight. It was an FA Cup quarter-final at 5:30. It's not my fault it was shit and I turned it off. It's got nothing to do with Man City. You just happened to be in the game. I thought Newcastle Man City might be an interesting game. I was wrong. I think, Nick P says, I think Man City are just boring by design. Even a player like Grealish looks out of place. His natural flair got beaten out of him. Thanks, Nick. What is a cottager? I'll tell you. Well, if cottaging is that, it's a person who... Well, hold on. A cottager, according to the dictionary, is either a person living in a cottage or a man who performs homosexual acts in a public toilet. Yeah. If you go down the pub, if you move into a cottage in a nice village and you walk into the pub and introduce yourself as a cottager because you live in a cottage, I'll be very careful when you go to the toilet because you might have a big queue behind you. Man City are boring because of the slow passes and lack of individual skill movement. I think Pep's style kills individual skill movements, says Aman. All your subs must be United fans, says Dope. Well, I think your name answers the question. Sar's gone missing today, says George. Well, you know what? I look at this. Pereira's down injured at the moment for Fulham. I look at this Spurs side, and I just think it's so good. You know, but that's not always the way it works. But look at this Spurs side here. It's there next to you. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Dragusin, Udogie, Basuma, Sarr, Maddison, Kulusevski, Johnson, Son. It's a strong Spurs side there. I mean, look, I thought they'd be cruising to top four. Look at their bench. Richarlison, Højbjerg, Werner, Lo Celso, Bentancur. They've got a really good squad. They're heading in the right direction. But not in this game. Is it enough to say they miss Van de Ven? I've had a crap FPL, by the way. Absolutely crap. I did that. What do they call it? Hit list or something. And picked all the wrong players. Put Reguilon in. Got sent off. Would you take Robinson at United? Atoro, I think he's a good player. I mean, he's 26 now, maybe 27 actually, but I think he's a good player. Grealish says, you find us boring because the juggernaut does not stop and we never stop winning. You lot on Arsenal have spent so much more than us and haven't won much. Yeah, but the difference between us and Arsenal is 115 reasons. We didn't do 115 things that you've been alleged to do. That's why you are where you are. Edwin says it's Ange's fault. They play very dimensional. Everyone knows how they play. I wouldn't, you know, if I was a Man City fan, I wouldn't bother sticking your head above and going, because you're just going to get sat down. Just stick quiet, stay quiet and enjoy your success. Because you can't win an argument. Like, you literally can't win an argument. Yellow card for Palhinha. He might get more. He might get more here. He did catch him. He caught Maddison badly there. Somebody tell me, though, this shouldn't be a red card, but I think it is. But didn't we see one of these last week? Oh, yeah, the Brighton game. Oh, no, Maddison's all right. He's all right. He's all right. Don't want to see Maddison injured. I'm surprised they've not looked at that, you know. I think that could have been a red. I don't understand what's a red anymore. I really don't. Not high enough for a red, says Manny. I didn't know there was a height limit. I'm going to run a poll on that. I don't know whether... Oh, God, we've got rid of the Spurs game. Don't worry about that. I'd be interested to see where he goes. Oh, Paulinho have got a red card. Paulinho, I wonder where he's going to go. Oh, Sar's just gone in on him now. Let's have a look. I don't think this is even going to be a yellow card. No, that's not. There's nothing in that. I mean, it is a foul, but it's nothing more than that. Grealish says, spend some money and the traditional clubs start crying. If we don't, your team especially would buy half the team. Leicester. Wish it was 3:30 tomorrow already. Today's like the day part of a wedding when all you want is the night do. Come on, says Kevin. Oh, I think the day part of a wedding's great. I like that bit in between having the dinner and the night party where you can just talk to people and have a drink. Thomas says, saying it wasn't high enough is delusional. It was endangering, says Thomas. Well, you can get your votes in there. Robinson again. Look at this. I really like him. I really do like him. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Good player. Anthony Robinson. He's 26. Been at Fulham since 2020. He's actually born in Milton Keynes. Father was born in England but raised in New York. There you go. Wow, Spurs have done nothing this half. Is this stats carousel? Am I just missing it every time? Is it? I'm gonna watch it here. Is it actually going round? I haven't seen it go off that at all, but it surely has. Oh, yeah, I just keep seeing Spurs. It is going round. Fulham again. Cut it back. Oh, he went for the shot himself. Could have been 3. Endangering the safety and opposition has no height required, says Thomas Hopley. Are City fans the most deluded of any club, says Ryan Webb. You know what somebody said to me about Malacia? Somebody just sent a few people talking about Kate Middleton in the chats, and she does get compared to Malacia, who's Man United's backup left back, who's not been seen in ages. Apparently, he was at the night out that the United players had on Wednesday night. Oh, goal! Fulham 3-0. It's a goal again. It's another one. Muniz has hurt himself. What's going on here in this Premier League? It's unbelievable. Another one. 3-0 Fulham. This is a pounding. Absolute pounding. Aston Villa fans will be rejoicing. It's going to be given. There's no way back. There's no way back. They go to Villa Park last week and they win. And then the very next week, they don't. Demolition job, says Vexto. Well, Bassi ends up hitting the post. From a ridiculous angle, hits the post, goes across the goal line, and then Muniz is there to tap it in. $3-0. Well, maybe Spurs will look at that and whether Paulinho should have got a red card. They never even reviewed it. And it is Muniz who scores. Dragusin kicks him. And I have got him in my FPL. Johnny M says Fulham are decent, to be fair. On their day, I think they're very decent, yeah. And Jout says Hooligan Gaming. Spurs been shite today. Absolute shite. I mean, I didn't watch the first half an hour, but since I've turned it on, they've been absolute rubbish. Yellow card for Basuma. This reminds me of United, though. There's something weird going on here. Exactly the same thing happened to United. We went to Villa and won in a massive game, and then we lost at home to Fulham. They go to Villa, win a massive game, and they're losing to Fulham. Just shows you the competitive nature of this Premier League, really. Narian had Vicario and Porro in his team for the Fantasy Premier League. I'll tell you my team now. I've got 12 points. Okay, now I've done right shit. I've got Son as captain. Oh, God. It's like looking at the bottom of a toilet after a diarrhea. It's shit. I've got Regwell on -3, Porro 1, Dotti 1, Alanga 2, Son captain on 4, Muniz on 6, Tony got me 1. Forget about it. Forget about it. I still think Spurs will get top 4. Their running is still decent. It's 4-0. Oh my God, it's 4-0. It's 4-0 after 63 minutes. What's going on here? What's going on with Spurs? 4-0, Palhinha. Oh, offside. Offside. Not given. Not given. It's not 4-0. Flag gone up. I mean, Fulham look like they're going to score with every attack here. Let's have a look on the back post. I don't think it is going to be off. What's offside about this? Oh, yeah. It's the guy who's in front. Yeah. Raul Jimenez is off. Yeah, that's offside. Well, it's a triple substitution for Spurs. Look, I've got to be honest, we've seen some weird stuff this season. You just never know. Højbjerg, Werner, Bentancur coming on. You just never know, do you? I don't know what Spurs' excuse is, though. They don't play in Europe. Good decision to switch over, Mark, says NK. Yeah, if you're really depressed and you want to watch Man City, then I can tell you that game's been over for about an hour. It's still 2-0 in that one. And yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry. Really. Got a much better game going on here. Yeah, I'm going for a Man United win tomorrow. Yeah, why not? I captained Son as well, so a couple of goals wouldn't be nice. Wouldn't be bad if he could get a goal back, a goal or two now. Would you be able to run a poll asking guilty or not guilty against the 115? I would love to know the percentage of fans across the channel, says Dean. I can do you think they're guilty? I can't say are they guilty because we're not. You know, it is alleged. So do you there we go. Yeah. Do you think Man City are guilty? Yes or no? Spurs are becoming Spursy again, says Nigel. And Stephen Brown says, get in there, Fulham. United, Champions League is on. Louise says that Ireland have landed the Six Nations. What a lovely weekend for the Irish. Big up the Irish. Dublin will be an amazing city this weekend because it's St. Patrick. It's an amazing city anyway. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. They've just won the rugby tonight. What a weekend it'll be. It's actually coming up for a year that I was over there doing my first ever stand-up shows for the United Stand. Just amongst all that, Son should have had an assist. Oh no, he would have been offside. Johnson missed an open goal really, but he was offside anyway. Yeah, if you're a City fan, I would leave because this poll's going to make you cry. What's the most surprising result for you this season? Surely this is one of them, says Hessen. Well, get in the chat with your most surprising results this season. I think Luton 4, Brighton 0 has got to be right up there, but there will be others. Spurs are all over them at the moment here. 3 substitutions has made a difference. Yeah, there will be others, but I think that Luton game, when they beat Brighton, was extra special, wasn't it? United losing to Bournemouth 3-0. Yeah. Got to say, I forgot about that complex. Werner's just missed a big chance as well on the back post. I don't think it was easy. I think Werner's been a good signing for them as a January loanee. I think he's been a good signing. Thomas says this poll is like asking, is the Pope Catholic? Yeah, but in defence of Man City, and I don't want to defend them, of course, but there's also going to be a lot of people that want them to be guilty. Is there any way back for Spurs here? 20 minutes, 3 goals. Oh, God. In this Premier League season, you just don't know. Boa Morte, who remembers him? Coach now. I think Fulham, though, are everything that's good about the Premier League. And I know people respect people like Brentford and Brighton and West Ham, but I think Fulham really do epitomise the Premier League better than anybody else. They're capable of going to, they're capable of being at home to Everton and losing, but they're capable of going to Old Trafford and winning and being 3-0 up against Spurs. They're just a typical... Fulham is the sort of team that you really do test the depth of the Premier League with, because we all know Man City and Liverpool are strong, but Fulham really do epitomise what the Premier League's all about. Like, as a typical mid-table club that is capable of giving anybody a game on their day. You don't get many Fulhams in La Liga or the French League or the German League. You don't get them. And that's why the Premier League is the strongest league. If you say to somebody the Premier League is the strongest league in the world, people will automatically think about the teams at the top. What makes it the strongest team in the world is teams like Fulham, who can give everybody a game. Because if you think we're the strongest in the world because we've got Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal, yeah, well, La Liga's got Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Bundesliga's got 2 or 3 teams as well. What makes the Premier League the greatest league in the world is the depth of quality that we have. And Fulham are one of those teams. Common sense would say a club playing in Division 1 at the turn of the century wouldn't have been getting those sponsorships without backroom deals, says Thomas Hopley. And Jaden says, hi Mark, as a Liverpool fan, who do you think is the most underrated player in the Premier League? It's a good one for the chat. Just on the 115 thing, though, I will pass one judgment here. I'm not the judge, but I think there's a great point being made by Thomas, and it is a common sense point. Newcastle are the richest club in the world, and they can't spend their money because FFP has got a bit of teeth and they don't have the revenue to spend what they've got. They've got billions, but their revenue doesn't allow them to do it. So Man City would have been in the same position. How did they manage to do it? How did they do it? They didn't have the revenue, so how did they manage to spend the money they were spending from day one? And I'm not just talking about the likes of Jack Grealish. I'm talking about the Robinhos, you know, the James Milners. Like from day one, they came in and started spending money that Newcastle can't spend now. And that, to me, is the common sense thing. Why is it that was allowed to happen? And why is it that Newcastle can't do it? Because I was looking at this a few months ago. This will be interesting. Keep an eye on it. So I've got here Man City's transfers in 08-09. Now take into account inflation. Expenditure, 160 million. And that was 08-09. 160 million 16 years ago. With inflation, that's well over 200 million. In their first year of Abu Dhabi ownership. 160 million quid. 43 million on Robinho. 24 million on Joe. 15 on Craig Bellamy. 20 on Nigel de Jong. Wayne Bridge, 13. 160 million in their first summer. Where was the revenue for that then? The next summer, 09-10, 150 million again. Carlos Tevez, 30. Adebayor, 30. Jolene Lescott, 30. Santa Cruz, 20. Kolo Touré, 20. Gareth Bale, 15. So in 08-09 and 09-10, spent 150 million quid. That's like spending over 200 million now. How could they do that? They didn't have the revenue to do it. How did they do it? How did they do it? Newcastle can't do it, and they've got the money. You can't do it. 10-11. Take a guess. What did they do in 10-11? 190 million. It's going up now. 37 on Dzeko, 30 on Yaya Toure, 30 on Balotelli, 30 on David Silva, 25 on Kolarov, 25 on Milner. So in 2 years, 150 million, 150 million, 180 million. Gareth Barry, not Bale. The facts are there. It's on Transfer Market. You can go and check what they spent year on year. Year 4, another 100 million. Aguero, 40. Samir Nasri, 27. And that's what Thomas Hobley's talking about. From day one, they spent ridiculous money that the revenue's not there to do, and Newcastle can't do it now. Not had a good either or yet. Palmer versus Kudos. Let's do it. 90% of you think that Man City are guilty, by the way. Let's close that off. Either or. I mean, Kudos is very, very, very hot at the moment, isn't he? Tell you what, Villa, West Ham tomorrow becomes a massive game with this result, doesn't it? Look at the league table. Villa, same amount of games played, 2 points ahead. Win tomorrow, 5 points ahead. Massive game. Do I think Man United can catch Tottenham? I think it's difficult. I do. I think it's going to be difficult. Thank God this game was on. Imagine if we'd had to stay watching that Man City game. Oh my God, I think I'd have had to stop. Great result for Villa, but I don't see how Spurs have bottled it so hard. Unbelievable, says Delta. But I don't think they bottled it. I mean, look, Villa went to Fulham not that long ago. I mean, Fulham have had a weird part to play. Low-key, Fulham have been really weird in this race for Champions League football because United beat Villa and then lost to Fulham. Spurs beat Villa and are going to lose to Fulham. Villa lost to Man United and went to Fulham and won. It's just, it's weird, the Fulham connection, isn't it? And I think Villa at West Ham tomorrow be a very interesting game because obviously I was looking at what Villa's team was in the Conference League when they beat Ajax 4-0. Only 3 days rest, and understandably, the intention from Emery is to take it seriously, and he picked a very, very strong team against Ajax. It's going to be very. I think April is going to be very interesting with all these teams that are in Europe, and then the league as well is really competitive. But Spurs just can't get back into this game. They can't lay a glove. How do you rate West Ham's chances against Leverkusen? Says Han. That'd be a cracking game. I mean that's as an interesting a game for Xabi Alonso as it is for anybody else. Hopefully West Ham give them a thumping tomorrow, says Sam. It's just a shame 115 FC took away what Klopp could have done with Liverpool, says Josh. I wish I'd shared that with you before, by the way. You know, anybody that like is happy that the financial fair play has got teeth, go and look at the first 4 years of Man City from 2008 and it'll make you throw up. Where did they get that revenue to do that? £150 million a year for the first 4 years. With inflation, what's £150 million now compared to 2008? It's got to be around 200. Maybe even more. I nominate Sada. Oh, I tell you what, I had that on the other day. I don't know whether anybody knows what Big Brother is outside of the UK, but they've brought this Big Brother series back. It used to be quite popular. I nominate Sada, and it's Celebrity Big Brother. Have you noticed that with celebrity programs now, you may as well just call it Big Brother? I don't know who they are. I don't know who these celebrities are meant to be. Louis Walsh, I knew. That was and I knew Levi Roots because of his Reggae Sauce. That was it. I didn't know any of them. I was just like, you may as well call it Big Brother. Robinson for me has been brilliant again. I mean, would you not look at Robinson for left back? Well, treble substitutions for Fulham now. What's your next watch-along, Mark, on this channel? It's a great question. It's a great question because I don't actually know. Because we're going into an international break, aren't we? So I'm doing Man United against Liverpool tomorrow on United Stand. And then, really... I'm doing England against Brazil a week tonight at 7 o'clock. Looking forward to that. And then I think it's Belgium, England on the Tuesday. Yeah, so I'll do both of those. But April really goes crazy though, doesn't it? Because you've got Champions League, loads of Premier League. There's all sorts going on. Financial fair play came in 2013, says Robert. I think you're wrong, because I'm pretty sure they're looking at charges for Man City between 2008 and 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rashi gets paid more in a week than celebrities on Celebrity Big Brother, says Goldio. Well, I bet he does. City's like the school kid who bought the test. Everyone knows he's not smart. Also, my respect for Klopp has gone up for doing it legitimately, says Parker. I think what Klopp's tried to achieve and has achieved against that is incredible. Ashish says United should be in for Robinson. TTV Video says the charges before 2013 aren't FFP related. But Chris says they did get 115 financial breaches between 08 and 18. Robinson's too old, says William. What, 26? What do you think's gone wrong with Spurs tonight anyway? Like, seriously, what do you think's gone wrong with Spurs? It's a pounding. Hello. Hello. Oh, you going?
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. And you? Oh shit, I've signed myself out now. Yeah, what do you think is the issue with Spurs today? Because it's not been good, and as I said, you go to Villa and win, and it's never easy to go and win other games of football, but you wouldn't expect to be, well, 3-0, could have been 4-0. Disappointing from a Spurs point of view. Fascinating from a league point of view, that it's just so unpredictable. You just never know what's going to happen, do you? It's not looking... I'll tell you what, there was a massive game today as well that I completely didn't even think about, but the Luton equaliser in the 89th minute, massive goal. You know, Forest, if they'd won that, they'd have been they'd have been 6 points clear of Luton, and they're probably going to get a 6-point deduction. That Luton equaliser could be massive in relation to the charges that could be coming in. But no way back for Spurs here, I don't think. 5 minutes to go. The substitutions made a bit of a change. Here's Son. Good tackle by Bassi. I always thought Bassi was a good player when he was at Rangers. I think the Ajax move. I am thinking about the right player, aren't I? I'm pretty sure I am. I think he only spent a year at Ajax. But Spurs keep trying. It's not going to help them out. Apparently Mason Mount's fit for tomorrow. Well, another chance for Spurs here. There's a good bit of play, actually. Nice little nod back. Kulusevski. Put wide. I think it was Bentancur. Son's coming off now for Lo Celso. Disappointing day at the office. Strange. Three minutes to go. We made the right decision. We definitely made the right decision. Man City still 2-0 against Newcastle. 16 shots to 2. 5 shots on target to 1. What a waste. What a waste of everybody's time that was. Unless you're a Man City fan, in which case, you know, you're probably as bored as anybody else. But we've certainly been treated by Fulham tonight. Like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're heading towards 122,000. And Fulham are heading towards a very, very big win here. Let's not forget, at one point, Fulham were looking quite good. I mean, Fulham went to a... This is contextually, Fulham went to the Carabao Cup semi-final as well. They've not had a bad season. Got knocked out of the FA Cup by Newcastle. Charles said they bought City for 200 million and spent 150 in the first season. And Makel says 160 million in 2009 would be 248 million today. Bloody hell. Shamal says Howe won't be criticised by the media. What's the market value of Robinson, Mark, says Amel. Honestly, let me have a quick look. 26, going to be 27 this summer. Contract doesn't run out till 2028. I think they've won 30. I think he could do a decent job. You know what? I think at somewhere like Liverpool, as a backup to Robertson, be good. I'd certainly welcome him at United. I'd welcome him at United. Now, what a ball that is! If this ends up being a goal, good save, Vicario. Oh no, that was the high. Oh, it's a replay. It's a bloody replay. It was still a good. I mean, it's a good save by Vicario from Wilson, but the pass through to him was magnificent. Sahabo says, you don't fool anyone trying to say Liverpool missing half its team is a favourite Old Trafford. Mate, we're missing more key players than you. Like, alright, Alisson's out, but you've still got Van Dijk, Kanate will be back, Robertson, McAllister, Endo, Szoboszlai, Salah, Diaz, Nunez. You're in a much stronger position than us. You're having a laugh if you think you're not. We haven't got Martinez. We haven't got Luke Shaw. Mount, Hoyland, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka are... Well, I don't know how many of them are going to start. Here we go again. Fulham on the break. NRG. Options. Here we go. Pass again. And again. Lovely play. Blocked. 7 minutes. Well, it's been a weird Saturday night watch-along. Started off watching an FA Cup game that was boring as shit and ended up putting on Fulham Spurs, forgetting it was on, and watching an absolutely brilliant Premier League game where we've had a shock and Fulham have been absolutely fantastic. Sage says Liverpool are missing more players, Mark. Mate, can we just stop? Can we just stop? Liverpool are better than Man United and can put a stronger team out, and they're in better form. And they've got better players. Take the win. Rasmus is back. I don't know whether he'll start. Even Mason Mount's meant to be back, but he's missed about 6 months. Here's Willian. Man United could have a big part to play in the title race anyway. We've got Liverpool in early April in the league at Old Trafford, and we've got Arsenal in the league at home as well. George is excited for tomorrow. Who was better, Phil Jones or Titus Bramble, says Goldio? It's Phil Jones. Better. Titus Bramble was crap. Really crap. Sarvish says he thinks Man City was purchased for 300 million. Is Robinson's injury history bad or good, says Toro? I don't think it's particularly bad. Oh, shot. Leno gets the save. A couple of months back, there was something about a Premier League player going into rehab for being addicted to laughing gas. Could it be Malacia, says George? Oh, there's all sorts of conspiracies. Somebody said that this was an odd one. So Man United were out on Wednesday night. All the players were out at the Ivy restaurant in Manchester, and they all got pictured going in and out. Rasmus, Rashford, Bruno, I think everybody. Then it came out on Friday that Malacia was there, even though he didn't get photographed. He was there. And I think the club confirmed he was there. But there was no picture of him. And somebody said, is he in the witness protection program then? That, you know, they can't release pictures of him. And I'm like, it's just very weird around Malacia. There's just all this conspiracy theory around him because, like, he's been out for basically a year and he never really gets photographed anywhere. But not many, I mean, just focusing on the injury, not many people are out for a year with an injury, are they? Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Links in the description, or you can scan that QR code on your camera phone when it goes round. But yeah, I can't think of many people that have that are out for a whole year with an injury. It's very, very rare. Newcastle played shit, says Magnus. What's your favourite television show in which four lifelong friends compete to embarrass each other? Says Harrison. Am I missing? I don't know what that programme is. In-Betweeners? Lifelong friends. Four lifelong friends. I'm acting like a twat here. What is it? Impractical Jokers. I've never seen it. I have seen Phoenix Nights, Raz. I'd love to see it again, but you can't bloody watch it. One of the most ridiculous things in the world. You can't watch Phoenix Nights because Peter Kay doesn't like his shows being on streaming services. So unless you've got the DVD, and who has a DVD these days, you can't watch it. Neil, thank you very much. Says, I love the channel. Quality, thank you. Same with Max and Paddy as well. There's the final whistle. Fulham win 3-0. It's a bit of a shock in the Premier League. Spurs game in hand disappears. They remain 2 points behind Aston Villa, who will play tomorrow. Interestingly, Man United are 6 points behind Spurs now. It's probably a little bit much, I would say, for United to be thinking about closing a 6-point gap on anybody. But absolutely fantastic result for Fulham. They've been brilliant tonight, and they thoroughly deserved it. I'm on the United stand. It's normally at 8 o'clock, but this is finished a bit early, so I'm going to start at 7:45. If you want to join me over on the United stand, it will kick you over to the live chat there, and I'll see you in 20 minutes. If not, watch along tomorrow. Liverpool against Man United at Old Trafford will be live on that United stand for that. In the either or, Kudus got 46%, Palmer got 54%. There we go. I'll see you on the United stand in 20 minutes. Take care, legends, and what a great idea it was to move from Man City and Newcastle to this. Take care, everyone.